Welcome to the Empower Me Show with Pam Bright. This show is all about honoring you as a spiritual being having a human experience. You are here for a reason, and it's no mistake that you are here on Earth right now. Spirit has guided you to this very moment in time, so you could hear the messages Pam is about to share with you. She is a multidimensional healer, light language channel, transformation coach, wife, and mother, committed to helping you discover the tools and practices to empower you to live the best life you can. You get to choose the spirit path you take. You can connect to the spiritual guidance already all around you. Get ready to live a fully empowered life. This is the Empower Me Show.
I'm so glad you're here. My name is Pam Bright. I am your hostess for this amazing show today. And I am joined today by my dear friend, Karen Crane, and she'll be with us very shortly to talk to us about the Divine Feminine and what she's been up to for the last 6 months. We were honored to have her the very first show that we ever did. And today is really a celebration. For the last 6 months, I called this particular episode, The Training Wheels Are Coming Off, because really this first 6 months has been all about learning about being an empowered being in public with you, the audience, and showing you what transformation can look like from day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year, and bringing you on as a special guest really assists the world in seeing other people who are also going through their own transformations. So as we go through this series, we really love to highlight the special people that come on because they've got a lot of wisdom to share, a lot of learning that they've been doing, and really a lot of tools, techniques, and tips that they can share with you, the listener and the watcher, of your own transformation as you journey through this lifetime. So before we get started, I always like to really get us centered and grounded in this moment so that we can just let go of all the distractions from our lives prior to this moment. And it really helps me as well to get into this space and time. All right. So I'm going to give you a little bit of sounding here and just allow yourself to receive whatever it is that you need to receive to be here in this moment. Go ahead and get yourself some water so that you can have that thirst quenching as you need. And it actually assists your physical body in connecting to the earth grid and the earth energies, as well as the sky energies, the heavens and the planets and stars. So really ground into who you are as a soul in a body. So just go ahead and listen to my voice, listen to this sound of this beautiful new instrument that I have for you right here. This is called a hand pan, my new little instrument that I got. And it'll just help you to kind of get centered in this moment, okay?
No problem.
Okay, so just go ahead and breathe in through your lungs, feeling yourself right in your heart space, allowing yourself to really anchor in to this moment, feeling your body system connected to the earth and allowing her to really ground you in this present moment. As you think about your day, I want you to simply put your hand out and allow any energies that are not you to go away. So this particular mantra and that movement help you to really be in this moment. So I would say, I am Pam. I am only Pam. Only Pam's energy is allowed in Pam's body. I am Pam. And then, so go ahead and try that a little bit.
I am Karen. I am Karen. Only Karen's energy is allowed in this body.
All right, so that actually creates your own sacred space as well, so that your physical body is also composed of energetic bodies that are all around you. So that actually sends out a ripple effect of your energy system out to everybody else and everything else that is present on the planet, so that they know that your energy vibration is being sent out everywhere that you connect to. All right. So that's something you can practice every day. And it will help you to anchor in the fullness of who you are as a spiritual being having a human experience. And that's what we're all about here on the Empower Me show, is really owning that and anchoring that in. So what I'd love to do in this episode is not only hear from Karen about her life in the last 6 months and what she's been up to, but I'd also love to hear from you, the listener. Go ahead and write in the chat, or you can call in as well. We have a call-in number that shows up on the screen if you want it. But really, I would love to hear what has been your favorite moments in our show for the last 6 months, because we've had a lot of guests on, we've had a lot of things that we've covered, and it'd be great to hear from you what it is that you really love, what's impactful, what's been helpful, what's really touched your heart. What is it that you want more of? Every week we do something different. We have our light language show, which is our healing show, where I channel whatever energies want to come through me and assist you in your own healing. We have our Choosing Your Empowered Life, which was the first show that Karen was on. And thank you for that, Karen. And she shared with us about her own journey in being a divine feminine goddess on the planet, and all the things that she was able to assist us with. We have our full body system wellness program episode, which talks about my services, the programs that I'm developing, and really looking at what does that mean to have full body system wellness. And then our fourth episode of the month, we've talked about the Spirit Partners for Life. That's where I bring my husband on, and we talk about together our partnership, our marriage, being parents, being spirit partners, as well as spirit partners with the Creator. So all of that energy, and we've had some special guests on with that too. So really, if you feel like you want to share what has been really helpful for you, what's been challenging for you, what you've been through in the last 6 months, go ahead and connect to Transformation Talk Radio in this episode and let people know what it is that has been helpful for you. Love to hear that. So we're going to take a break here in just a couple minutes, and I'd like you to think about that question. What has been really helpful for you? But also think about, what's your next step? Who are you right now? In 2021, in October, we're almost at the end of the month. We're gearing up for Halloween on the weekend, I think on Sunday. And the next day after that is what they call, I don't even know how to say it. It's a Spanish word for connecting to the ancestors and looking at the veil that is coming, really assisting in us connecting to those that have passed, those that have passed on and died. And they say that we can actually connect to them in a more profound way between the 31st and the 1st. So looking at those energies as well, what does that mean for you? So when we come back from break, I'm going to talk to my friend Karen, and she's going to share with us her wisdom. And also, I believe, talk to us about how we can celebrate. What are some easy, simple ways that we can celebrate our milestones in our lives, and take us through an exercise, maybe a meditation. I don't know what she has planned. If she has anything planned, we like to kind of go with the moment of what Spirit wants to show us. So we're going to be guided in the perfect way for how this show is going to unfold this hour. And I invite you to connect in as much as you can with the energies that are present. So we will be right back. Welcome back to the Empower Me Show with Pam Bright. I am here with my dear friend, Karen Crane, and she is going to share with us about her life in the last 6 months. She was our very first special guest on the Empower Me Show for Choosing Your Empowered Life episode. So Karen, I am so glad you're here. Welcome, welcome, welcome back.
Thank you so much for having me back, Pam. I'm happy to be here.
I'm thrilled that you're here.
Good.
So let me tell you a little bit about Karen and I. Karen, I met, I believe it was it 2 years ago? Might have been 2 years ago.
2 to 3, no, 3 years. We've been shut down for 2 years.
Okay.
3 years or longer. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was at least 2018. I think it was towards the end of 2018 that I met Karen. And I met her at a metaphysical psychic fair. I believe it was the Blue Moon Psychic Fair in Edmonds, Washington. And these fairs go on all the time in different places. And I met Karen at one of these. I was working my own booth at that time. And Karen came in, and she had been connected to many of these different metaphysical fairs that she will talk about. She'll share with us about that. But she made it a habit to see the new people that were coming in to share their services. And she came up to me and she asked if she could sit down. And I was like, well, of course, obviously, I'm here for you. So she sat down and just started sharing with me who she was and what she was about, and that she had worked these fairs herself, and that she really wanted to know about me. And the thing that struck me about Karen is that she was really enamored with all of the different items that I had placed on my table. And I had made it a point to do that when I did the psychic fairs, because I wanted people right away to connect to an object that would bring them into themselves. Like, for instance, I have this, what I consider my pillar of light wand. It's a selenite wand. And I use this as my anchor when I do this show. And I also connect it to bringing in the light into my body system, called the pillar of light. So that's my connection here. So I would bring people into whatever they could connect to, whether it was a statue or a rock or a smudge stick or a wand. anything that they could connect to physically on this plane of existence, so that then we could start a conversation. And that was what was really wonderful about Karen, is that she immediately was drawn to all of the different items that I had brought. And then she started sharing about herself and why she kept coming back to this particular place. And as the years have gone on, I have found myself really just wanting to connect to Karen, because I believe that she has a lot of wisdom to share. And she's been around the block, so to speak, with the spiritual world, as well as being a mom and a grandma, and really learning about the ins and outs of being a human being on this planet. So one of the first things that I love to ask every guest that I have, Karen, is, what does it mean for you being a spiritual being having a human experience?
What does that mean?
What does that mean for you?
Well, it means that the spiritual part is easy. The human part is not.
Mm,
The human part takes a lot more effort and teaching, learning, deliberation. If you really want to have things happen in your life, in the human experience part, you have to do some work to have it happen the way you want it.
mm.
It doesn't just happen. It takes effort.
Yeah, I got that. So it sounds to me like maybe there's a little commitment there to, making life the way you want it.
Yes. And I don't know that that's actually what you would call it, what you want it. I think it's a lot about how you feel and in your body. And if you feel connected, it's possible as a spiritual being, it's possible to sort of sit right here, right now. And I know you know this, Pam, and feel connected to everything.
Mm-hmm.
Feel connected to the space, to the etheric energy, the air, that my body is part of everything. And when you feel like that, it's like feeling at home. We're spiritual beings. We start out spiritual beings. So figuring out how to feel like a spiritual being and connect with everything makes us feel more comfortable. It makes us happy. It makes us feel like we're home.
Amen to that.
And so, yeah, it does take, but it takes commitment. It's a change from your human body being born into being a human with all the things that go along with that, to reconnecting to just being spirit.
Mm.
There is some tasks you need to do, some certain ways you need to think, and you're in control of all that.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you very much for that. I have talked a lot about, I created a program last year called Full Body System Wellness,
Right.
where
And
I
I've read that.
really looked at, how do we marry the two together?
Right.
I mean, really realizing we weren't just dropped here. That was my very first blog post that I ever did, was the question, was I really just dropped here? And I went into this whole world of, the whole mentality of feeling like we're victims to being human. Like, how many of you listeners feel like you're a victim to being a human being? Like you don't have any choice. And I'm here to tell you, you have choice. And that's what this program is all about, is giving you permission. First of all, I give you permission to be human, right? Now you get to give yourself permission to be human. And you get to be spirit too. it's like bringing it all together into one unit. And that's where the commitment comes in, like bringing it all together and learning different ways to make it happen, like making it a powerful experience rather than just being affected by everything around you, right? Does that make sense? So, Karen, what has happened for you since we last talked? It was in April of this year that we last talked about on this show. And we've talked a little bit since April about what you're doing. And you shared about that you were doing some wisdom, women of wisdom.
Well, I've written a post that I've posted on Facebook for
Okay.
about 8 years, called Wisdom Work for Women.
Okay.
And what it means is doing the work that you're describing, how to be a better human being from the divine feminine perspective.
Okay.
It isn't simply for women, although that's what it says in the title, but it's from the divine feminine. And I found out early on that people didn't respond to that idea. They could respond to the idea that this is a bunch of words for women.
Ah,
But for from the divine feminine, that it's just it's a leap of mindset. It just sounds a little strange, and so people didn't resonate with it as well. But many and women are more seem to be more interested. The divine feminine is natural for women,
okay.
although it's also natural for men. It's an energy. It's not male or female.
Okay. So for people that aren't familiar with that term, divine feminine, what is the difference between the energy of the divine feminine versus the divine masculine? Real quick before we go to break.
Well, the divine feminine is, imagine a container. It includes everything. It's receptive.
Okay.
And the divine masculine is active. It goes out into the world and does things. And so we all do both things. That you can call that divine union. But the divine feminine is the receptive part that sits back and waits for things, not wait for things to happen, waits for the ingredients to be brought in.
I like that.
If you were going to cook in the kitchen and bake a cake, the divine feminine would sit back in the kitchen ready to make the cake. But the divine masculine would go out and get the ingredients and bring the right ones back.
Wonderful.
So that the right cake could be made.
I love that. That's really great. What a great analogy.
Yeah.
So we can talk more about that when we come back from break. We have a couple more minutes before that, but I like the synergy of the give and take, right? So the divine, my understanding is that the divine masculine, when we say divine, we really are anchoring in that notion that we are spiritual beings having a human experience.
Yes.
So when the divine masculine says, okay, it's my turn to take action now, based on what I'm getting from my creator self, and I'm going to go out and take action, then he brings that back, and then the divine feminine can
create something
wonderful from that.
Yes.
That's wonderful. So we will talk more about that when we come back, and then we'll also hear more from Karen about what else she's been doing since we talked in April. And please, if you are listening and you've been with me since the beginning in April, please let me know. Everybody would like to know how you are being affected by the different episodes that we've had, the different guests we've had on, what you want more of, all of that. And please, if you want a response from me, I need to have a response from you by email. So let me know what your email is in the chat so that I can then get back to you if I don't get your question answered on this particular hour. So we're going to be right back and we're going to hear more from Karen. Welcome back to the Empower Me Show with Pam Bright. I'm here with my dear friend, Karen Crane, and we're talking about the divine feminine and how does the divine feminine and the divine masculine work together in your life and in my life. And really, what is it that we're all about in 2021? So Karen, I've asked you kind of what you've been up to for the last 6 months. What would you say the energy of the last 6 months has been compared to what might be coming up, maybe in the next couple months before the end of the year, kind of what we get to look forward to now? We've been in a pandemic for the last couple of years. What's going on? What are we looking at?
Well, I will compare it to what I personally have been going through.
Please.
I just had my 70th birthday.
Woohoo!
And this month, I mean, like less than a month ago,
That's
2 weeks,
great.
3 weeks ago. And I knew when I was in my 30s, I knew that I will live to be 100. So 70 means 30 more years. And I've just kind of always known that. And I've done some examples of what is it like to be 100. But I realized in the last year, I didn't really know what was important about being 70 or being 70 to 80. What does that life look like? Because it's very different than being 30 or 40 or 50. Things are changing. It's like the last segment of my life. And I actually look at it like in 30-year segments. So I've entered this final container of my life. What does it look like? There are things that I have to let go of from the previous, before 70. And there are some things I have to claim and be and do. For instance, my health is different. I'm in good health, but still 70 years have gone by. This is a 70-year-old body. It's got some issues that I didn't have at 50 that need to be, if I want to stay healthy, they need to be managed.
Yes.
So anyway, there's at this little segment, there are things to release and things to claim, new things to claim, and to live my life in a different way in many ways. Because I have to pay attention to things that used to just sort of flow naturally.
Got it.
Well, we can use that. And so I actually spent the last year from 69 to 70 preparing, thinking about, identifying what are the things that need to change, like, or that need to happen. What happened in order to have a vital life from 70 to 100? What things do all people need to do? And I've got a list, and I'm actually working on a book about that.
Yay.
Because one of the things is mindset. The huge thing is mindset, because I know a lot of people my age, my friends, people I know, and they're just drifting. They're willing to drift into being old people now. Oh, I'm 70. I can't do this. I can't do that. My hair is gray. uh, they're just drifting. My life is over. And in fact, we're treated, as you know about, we hear discounted elders, and I even read one thing that really kind of was poignant for me, was there was younger people who were trying to honor elders. We're talking about, you need to listen to the stories of your elders, because their information, they've had their life, there might be something interesting, and the elders are reliving those things. And my actual hit was, how disrespectful. I don't want to just have my stories listened to. I'm still teaching. I'm still learning. I'm still vital.
Yes.
And so it is not just about letting older people rehash their lives. And in fact, if you're an older person and you want to just rehash your life, you're going to be bored silly. That is not how to have a vital time. So if you just, there's many more analogies, but if you take that story and apply it to our life as the pandemic, the COVID situation, the political situation, the huge divide between people of, vaccine or no vaccine, Trump or not, political, whatever, and actually letting go of people who don't think the way you do. Mm-hmm. This is not the way to heal our planet. This is not why I am here as a human. I'm not here as a human for division. I'm here for love. I'm here to learn how to be the best human I can be. And the best human I can be is not going to say to another human, get out, I don't like you. Your ideas offend me, get away from me. That is not a best human concept. So I am thinking about, how do we heal this huge divide that's happened?
Mm.
That is my focus for the next 30 years.
That's excellent.
And I think that it's not just me. I was born to be in this time of life with this awareness, this knowledge, because this is what's happening on the planet.
Yes. Yes, I agree.
Many people say we're not going to go back. Businesses have changed. We're cocooning in our homes. Jobs have changed. Schools have changed. The children going to school, it's changed in some ways for miraculous, in the all good. And we're going forward. It's not that, so it's kind of like I'm saying, I'm at age 70, I've got to let go of what went before. As a culture, we have to let go of what went before. Take a look at the reality of now and say, what are we going to create now?
Got it.
What are we going to create going forward?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And for those that have a hard time with that, do you have, like, a few easy steps that people can take to let go of some of this baggage and be able to be in the now?
It isn't easy, number one, accept that it isn't easy. But one of the popular and very bright authors of this time is Glennon Doyle. And one of her comments is, we can do hard things. Who said it had to be easy? It's not going to be easy. And we can do hard things. We're talking about transforming a culture. And it starts with each of us. And to do that, we have to transform parts of ourselves. We are not the same people that we were.
Right.
And our friends aren't the same. And some of the relationships aren't the same. And so understanding that it's that is going to be hard. It takes commitment and thinking. Just like I said, I was thinking about how to be 70. We need to think about how to be new. What things do we want in the new? And I do have a short exercise that's very fun to do, that people can do. Do I have time to explain this? Do I have like 5 minutes?
What I'm thinking is, let's not take another break. Let's just keep going.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let's just do that. Okay.
Okay. So
yes, of course.
Here's the thing to do. And I'm going to give you an example with this crystal. I have a quartz crystal here.
Great.
I had a story about it, but I don't have time to tell it. So it's just going to say, this is my new crystal. I wouldn't have had this in my hand 6 months ago. This came to me. It was from my own collections, but it made itself known to me within the last 6 months. One day it was just sparkling up from a box.
I love it.
And I picked it up and looked at it. I don't even recognize it. I don't even recognize it from where it came. But so the exercise I want to say is, you can personify anything, a crystal or an idea, and say, and talk to it. And you can say like in meditation, get yourself in meditation, get quiet. Also, hopefully, and if you right now, you don't have to have a crystal, but if you have a piece of paper or a journal, so you can jot a few things down that come to you. But the other thing, that besides a crystal, you can have a conversation with the idea of your family, with the idea of your health, with the idea of your business. And you can ask the question in this conversation, what would you have me know? And I'll give you an example. I've done it with this crystal. What would you have me know? And it told me why it came to me and what I'm to use it for. But what was another thing that was really probably even more important, because I don't want people to just discount and say, oh, I'll go talk to my crystals. I have a business. I make jewelry. And I've done this for 15 years. And it's one of my sources of income. And so I asked my business, what would you have me know? And I got some astounding answers. Because one of the things at my age, and I've done it for so long, and it's pretty secure, it works well, I take it for granted. I know that I do this. I take it for granted. And basically it said, stop that. Be more professional. It also said, I make jewelry out of gemstones, and I make it to empower people. I call it empowerment jewelry. I'm wearing some with different stones that spoke to me, and when I wear them, they make me feel in different ways. So part of the message of my business was, keep making more jewelry.
Wonderful.
Don't worry about how to sell it. We'll sell it for you. when people have, and I have many, many loyal customers that have had jewelry for a long time, they still tell me about their favorite pieces. It says that the business said, your job is to make it. Our job is to inspire it.
Lovely.
And the world will get it, which I happen to know has always been true.
Mm-hmm.
It is true. In fact, it's interesting. One of the rules of thumb of my business, I sell it through Facebook. I sell the jewelry. If I post a piece, it will sell, something will sell. It won't be that one usually, but people will remember, oh, Karen, oh, I need jewelry. Oh, I want another piece or something. But the message, I don't want to talk about my jewelry. I want to talk about the message from my jewelry company was, stop taking us for granted.
Mm.
We have more work to do, and we can't do our work if you don't offer the jewelry out there for sale.
Wonderful. So could you take us through, like, whatever it is that we individually
I
want
would
to
say
focus on? Let's do that.
At this moment, everybody sit back and get comfortable and think of something in your life that you would like to be, probably to be better or to be different. And an example would be, if you have a business, you can ask your business this, but a family is a good one. It's the family, it's the energy of your family. Or it could even be a person, but let's take this a little more interesting and have it be your whole family, or even your yard, or your house. Something that matters to you that you don't usually talk to. And think of it as a separate entity sitting across from you in a chair. And close your eyes and sit there and ask it, what would you like me to know? And then we'll just wait a minute and see what kind of answers you get. What would you like me to know? And excuse, I'm going to interrupt because we don't have a lot of time to just sit here and do this. But if a conversation started, I'm going to urge you to continue it after the show or at some private time. You now know that something in your life wants to talk to you.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
Did you get some information?
I did. It was great. I thought I was going to ask my business, but I realized, I talk to my business all the time. So what I did, because I'm on this journey with my body, my physical self. And so I asked my body, what is it that you want me to know? And it was really great because I just took a breath and I listened, and it said, you've been ignoring me for a very long time. And now recently you have taken on responsibility for me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Keep going and trust your own intuition. It was great. It was such an honoring of me. I was like, well, okay, so I'm learning some things. Finally, I'm listening to my body. Wow, that's really great.
Well, you can actually, as far as bodies go, you can listen to individual organs.
Nice. Yeah.
You can listen to a disease. You could, if you have a chronic condition, you can you could go on and have conversations with so many parts.
Yes.
Of your, and each one would be different. It's fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's fascinating.
Yeah. Years ago, before they coined the phrase body talk and made it into a thing, it's a system that somebody created. I had that thought in my head of doing that, like, because I started doing that kind of conversation, like, did you know you could talk to your body? And I had no idea that someone was going to create it into a system. I have that system in my own cells that have been teaching me. So thank you for that reminder. And those of you who are listening, take this on, take this exercise on, because I promise you, there's going to be something new that emerges from this moment forward for you. And that's what the Empower Me show is really all about, is taking these concepts and trying it on to see how it resonates for you in your life. Take, however old you are, take on the next 10 years, take on the next 30 years, take on the next week, whatever it is, take it on as this is your life. This is what you're here for. What's most important to you? What inspires you? What brings you joy? What challenges you? How do you feel like you would like some more support? What is it all about, right? I know Karen has been available for a long time as a mentor. I am also available as a mentor, as a coach, as a spiritual guide. These people are here on the planet for you, for that very purpose. Books and music and webinars and, all kinds of teachers are now emerging on this planet, because it's time for all of us to receive the support that's available. We don't have to do it alone any longer. We really can get as much support as we can ever absorb in any given moment, right? Because that's what it's all about now. We never have to be isolated. We never have to be afraid. We never have to be feeling like we're a lone wolf ever, ever again. If that's been your experience, you're in the right place. This is a safe place for you. So in closing, Karen, what is the most important thing that you believe you have gained over the last 6 months of your life? What's been the biggest nugget?
The biggest nugget is that there is so much more to come. It's very exciting. I feel excited about my future and about the future of humanity. Yes, there's lots of ugly things going on, but there are more beautiful things than ugly if you just train yourself to look for them.
Amen.
And I spend my day looking at beautiful ideas, people, friends, conversations, uplifting everything. And I have a renewed sense of excitement for the future.
That's great. That's awesome. Me too. I'm very excited about my future as well. And I also know that many of you who are listening could be challenged by what's in your world right now. And so take this on as a new beginning. Right now, in this moment, can be a brand new beginning for you. And I am so thrilled that you have joined us for this very intriguing and inspiring and wise conversation. I'm excited that we get to move on together as friends and as teachers in spirit. And Karen, if people want to get a hold of you, how can they do that?
I have a website, KarenCraneWisdom.com.
Great.
And they can send me a message. There's a contact message there. And I have a mail list. You can join the list and get regular information from me.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for coming on, Karen. We will do this again.
Thank you
at
for
another
having
time.
me. Thank you for
And if
having
you
me.
want to get a hold of Bright Butterfly Enterprises, you can go to brightbutterflyenterprises.com and contact me there. You can also contact us at the empowermeshow@gmail.com with any questions that you have, any concerns, any comments. If you would like to be a guest on our show, please let us know right away and leave us a contact number or an email for us to contact you back, and we will definitely work that out so that you can be here. Let us know what you want. Please let us know what you want to hear, what you're looking forward to, how you want to engage. And we look forward to next month, November. We are going to be at a new time and a new day. We're going to be on Thursdays at noon, starting November 4th. So until then, please be well. Know that you are absolutely loved and adored, and we can't wait to see you again. Take good care of yourself and know that you are the one in charge of your own life. Be well and be blessed.
Thank you for listening to the Empower Me Show with Pam Bright on Transformation Talk Radio. Tune in every Monday at 3 p.m. to learn more about living a fully empowered life. Remember that your life is up to you, and you can choose the spiritual path you are on. There is spiritual energy and wisdom in everything and everyone around you. Listen carefully for what the universe is trying to tell you in every moment. You are already being guided along your journey. Call upon your spirit guides anytime you need help with anything. Know that you are safe in every moment, even if it seems that you are not. For more information about Pam Bright, visit brightbutterflyenterprises.com or email theempowermeshow@gmail.com. Thank you very much for listening. We hope to see you next week.